Aksha Tov Loch, my dear friends, join me with the Tehillim, join me with the Tzedakah for the safety and security of all our brothers and sisters in the entire world and for the revelation of Mashiach, which will help save the entire world, all of humanity, everything. You know what happens when by accident a drop of milk fell into a big pot of chicken soup? Now we know the process. The first thing, we blame everybody else. Second thing, we panic. And then finally, when we calm down, we call the rabbi. Says, Rabbi, we have a problem. A little bit of milk fell into my chicken soup. Now we know that milk and meat, dairy and meat, are not permitted to consume together, to cook together, to benefit from it. Rabbi, what do I do with the soup? What do I do with the pot? What do I do with the ladle that I mixed? Huge problem. The rabbi is going to ask you, tell me, how big a pot of soup was it? And how much milk spilled in? Now, if you're cynical, you ask the rabbi, Rabbi, I didn't invite you for lunch. I didn't invite you to come eat for me to ask you exactly what was in there. He says, no. Just answer my question. And the rabbi explains as follows. According to halacha, if it is not visible, in other words, not a piece of cheese, or it's not spicy, that it hasn't given any taste, if there is 60 times more chicken soup than the milk, then we consider that drop of milk nullified, non-existent, has no effect on the chicken soup, and you're allowed to consume it. Now, I should emphasize, my dear friends, don't start pouring in another drop and another drop and another drop. It's only if it happened by accident. If it's done intentional, not acceptable. But again, as I said, if by accident it happened, if there is 60 times more of the chicken soup than the drop of milk, then everything is kosher. This is called in Hebrew terminology botel b'shishim, annulled in 60. We are today, the day before the month of Adar. We know that this year we have 2 Adars. It's a leap year or a pregnant year with 2 months. Why do we have this? Because there's a discrepancy between the lunar cycle and the solar cycle of about approximately 12 hours a month, 10 and a half approximately hours a month. Now, if we are not, the Jewish calendar is based on the monthly cycle, but it is also based on the solar cycle because the holidays come with seasons. Now, if we're not going to find a way how to regulate between the lunar and the solar cycle, we're going to sometimes have, let's say, Pesach in the winter, sometimes in the summer, sometimes in fall, sometimes in spring, and we know that it's supposed to be at the end of spring. Therefore, the sages have established that 7 times in 19 years, in the cycle of 19 years, we have a leap year, that we have another month, so we can compensate for the days that are missing. Now, when we add the month, and it's usually the month of Adar, because according to the monthly cycle, the calendar for the monthly calendar starts from Nisan, the last month of the year is the month of Adar. So we add an additional month of Adar. But here is something particular. Month of Adar, as we know, is a very joyous month. It's a very propitious month. In case a person has a court case, wants to win, the month of Adar is the right time to do that. The Mishnah says, Mishenichnas Adar marbim b'simcha. When the month of Adar enters, we add in joy. Why? Many things happened. The birth of Moshe Rabbeinu. Moshe Rabbeinu took us out of Egypt. Moshe Rabbeinu got us to Mount Sinai to receive the Torah. Moshe Rabbeinu formed us into a nation. From being a group of slaves, we became a unified one nation. In addition, we know the month of Adar has the most joyous day of the year of the holiday of Purim. That's the day where the Jews celebrated the greatest of miracles. So this is a month of Simcha. So when we have two Adars, Purim will be the second Adar. But these are 60 days of rejoicing, says the Rebbe. Batel b'shishim. What is the joy supposed to annul? Sadness. Sadness of what? Of being in exile. Sadness of our suffering. So the month of Adar is the perfect time for the sadness to be annulled, for the suffering to be annulled, for exile to be annulled, and to find ourselves, God, you don't have to wait till tonight, till it's already Rosh Chodesh. Erev Rosh Chodesh would be just as fine to find ourselves, all of us together in the Beit HaMikdash.